Hey, Facebook. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the late night happy hour with Carrie Irene and DrSue. Where what comes up,
Comes
comes down.
out. Irene, how are you?
I am excellent. How you doing, Susu?
I'm real good. Real
Good,
good.
good.
Feel like I've
Not
been
just
doing God's
regular.
work. Been doing God's work.
Woo!
That's all exciting. Yeah. Very energizing.
God's work is on the work. I love it. That's good stuff.
It is.
Today is June 6th, 2025. Do you know this is the last month of the second quarter?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that hurts to say out loud.
Yes,
This
it
is the
is.
last month of the second. For anyone in business, you know that's like, ooh, better get it together, okay?
Yeah,
Now's the
yeah.
time if you need to change your tax bracket on your I-9. This is the next month is the month. Next month is the month to start paying yourself, making sure you got your receipts. Not next year, not January. Next month is the month to start doing that stuff, or you're gonna be in trouble. What's going on, Uncle Michelle?
Hey,
We
hey, hey.
love you. So yeah. What's your day? What you been doing today?
Um, I I've been on Zoom a lot.
Yeah. Zoom, zoom, zoom,
I've been on
zoom,
Zoom a
zoom.
lot. I'm grateful for Zoom. You know, it keeps me
Yeah.
connected. Uh,
Yeah.
did some writing this morning, and I'm excited about that. And spent some time doing some God's work and had conversation with friends. There's a back thing. There's an echo.
I'm hearing on my end. Yeah. I usually do, but I don't
Okay,
today.
so
Let me. You go ahead.
I'm gonna turn my phone. I got it on Do Not Disturb, but let me turn it off and see if that makes a difference. Turn off phone. You know, there are those of us who have these $1,000+ devices that still don't know how to that still don't know how to
It happens
operate.
to the best of us. Happens to the best.
So why am I not able to turn this thing off?
Oh no, Susie.
It keeps coming up with Ask Gemini, and now it's writing what I'm saying. Quit, Gemini. I don't need you.
Gemini, is that what you call your phone?
That's the AI that's coming up.
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to get it to the settings where I can just turn it
Still hear the
off.
echo?
Say something.
Something?
Something. Something.
Something, something, something. I
No,
see
it
the
sounds
something,
good
something,
now.
something.
It sounds good now. I don't know why
Ah,
I can't. Girl, I don't know what's happening here. Why I can't turn this phone off. I go into settings. Oh, maybe I can't turn it on Do Not Disturb. Don't y'all be laughing at me.
I'll laugh at it. Laugh at it, y'all. Everybody laugh. Everybody
Let's see
laugh.
if that made a difference. Nope. Oh, yes, it did.
Nope.
Yes, it. This multi-$1,000 device that I don't know how to work.
Hey, you got it. You figured it out. That's all that
Yes.
matters. That's
So,
all that matters.
so what we talking about, Carrie Irene?
Well, little this, little that. So me and DrSue, we've been in this season, right? You know, seasons are so important because they show you, for instance, say that I live and across the way there's a house, and someone else lives there. Now, it does me no good to go into their house and use their things because it's not mine. However,
Right.
from where I stand, I see their house and I have a certain perspective of their house because it's not my house, you know? But if ever in life I so find myself living on that side and I look back at this house that's no longer my house and I look at it from a different angle, I see different things. I have a different perspective and I have a different understanding of where I've been. So it's like, that's why I feel like seasons just are so important because there's nothing that gives you a better perspective of winter than a hot ass summer.
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing gives you a better perspective of the fresh new blooms of spring than the dying of everything in fall and all. And so, like, I'm so grateful for this season that I'm in because I'm grateful for every season. Because every season that I'm in is just, I can still stand in awe of a vantage point that I'll never have again. And look through all of the other lenses that I've looked at and not get caught up there, but look at them in awe. You know, a lot of us beat ourselves up for our past or we kick ourselves because we're not as far along as we should think we should be. Instead of just being like, I have been through every season and nobody has done that but me. I am one of a kind. There's still things that I can never tell, even if I talk for the rest of my life, trying just to tell where I've been.
Yeah.
I am amazing. And I'm here. And I know now that the next thing that I decide to do goes into that same collective to create more of the life that I'm living. And I'm creating. And just, you know, that comes to the point where, you know, like you in driver's ed at 10 and 2, to when you rear back and you, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You going through life like, baby, I got it now. I got it now.
Yeah. 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 I
Yeah.
so I totally resonate with that. I do.
Yeah. So yeah, so today we're talking about being in awe of just where you are. Just really getting into the nitty gritty of just living. Just waking up and saying, okay, here I am. Yep, thing is working. Woo, that was a good breath. Or, man, these eyes are seeing today. These are some seeing eyes today. Standing up on your feet and being grateful for that. Moving about your day in awe of how your extremities work just by a thought. When you say left foot go, you ain't got to bend over and grab your foot and put it where you want it to go. You just think it and you start moving. Everything works that way. But we sleep on the power of those consistent thoughts because eventually those thoughts become habitual. But what do we tend to think about? Triggers, right? Isn't that the same thing as habitual? A trigger is something that causes something, an interaction that takes you down a path that you've already been. Why can't we do that on the positive side? Because when we say dopamine hit, you know, we make it all fancy, whatever. That's just a trigger. That's just a trigger. We gotta put more things into the positive trigger bucket of saying, "Oh my God, that beautiful bird." Most of us say, "Oh, bird," going about our day. Just stop. Look at that bird. Look how he's cleaning themselves. Look how when he said that other bird came. Oh my God, look how he said that and the other bird flew away because he knew he was not playing. You know, like it just really just taking life. It's amazing. And when you start having more amazing moments intentionally, more of them start to happen. More of them start to collect, and that becomes your trigger. That becomes your trigger point. So even in places of what you would necessarily usually call defeat, you can say, oh, and now I see how I did that. I see because I did it that way. That's why that happened. Bet I got it now. Now I'm gonna do it again, and I'm gonna add everything I learned, and I guarantee you I'm gonna get a different result. And that's how you do that. And that's how you keep going with your lives. What's up, Monique?
Oh, can't get my lighting
So
right.
right. Girl, leave that. She can't get it together.
Right.
She can't get it together over there, honey.
Okay.
Dr. Sue. Dr. Sue done like this.
This is spiritual maturity. It is what it is.
Yo, if y'all go back and get the replay, it'll be at about the 10-minute mark and just watch Dr. Sue. She was like this.
Trying to get this light right. Quit it.
I can't help it. You funny. You funny to me. Woo! So yeah, so what you saying? What you feeling? What you got? Go ahead. I knew you was gonna want to go out there. I knew it. That's why I left the door cracked. Now you're acting like you want to crack the door. Can't be forward. She's such a diva. Let me let her out the proper way. Go ahead. Let them know what you're talking about to say.
I so resonate with everything that you said, Carrie Irene. I do. I am enamored, let's say, with the power of the subconscious mind. I just absolutely love studying it, understanding it, and love the power that we have over ourselves. Hi, Michelle. Power that we have over ourselves, but that I'm in awe of the fact that we have this power, but I'm equally in awe that we don't know we have it, so we don't lean into it. I'm hearing a lot of feedback still on my end, but my phone is off, so it's not me. It's probably you and your high tech. Let's see.
You say that every time. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about, to piggyback on what you were saying, one of the things that I have been doing recently is writing. I am just inundated with ideas, and these books just are flowing, and I am just in awe of what's coming through me. I won't say it's coming out of me in terms of me, it is being flowed through me. And one of them is called From Mastering Your Mind to Mastering Your Life. And it talks about what you're talking about. It talks about the triggers. It talks about the thought loops that we catch ourselves in, the rumination. It talks about how to, like, the thought triggers the emotion, which triggers what I call the behavior, which triggers the chemical release, which triggers the addiction to that behavior, which goes around and around and loopity loop, and you don't realize that you're on a loop, but you are on a loop, and you keep saying the same thing and doing the same thing and being the same thing over and over, and we don't know how to break it. But it really is a matter of becoming aware. Become aware of, well, what is the triggering thought? So a lot of times you may say, well, it's the behavior. He did this, she did that. No, if you just look at that behavior in and of itself, it doesn't have texture, color. It's not a thought. No, somebody did something and you had a thought about the thing that they did. And that thought then just took you on a roller coaster of chemical release and emotion, and you went round and round. So if you go back to the behavior, objectify the behavior. It's neither good nor bad. It's neither right nor wrong. It is just you are observing, or you are involved in an experience, and see yourself, step out of yourself and see yourself experiencing the experience. And then you can see, oh, that was the trigger. If I want a different behavior, I can think a different thought. And as it pertains to life, I love what you said about, and you and I were talking about this earlier today, everything is connected. Everything. Like I stepped outside of my door this morning. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but I stepped outside of my back door this morning, and I was like instantly teleported, right? Because I felt two things. First, I felt the warm air. Then I felt the cool air. And then I was aware of feeling, of having the experience of feeling it or experiencing it on my skin. And then I was aware of having the thought about, oh, that's warm air. And I kind of stepped back in and out of the house a few times because it's like it was amazing. And I'm looking at the trees and the leaves are blowing. It's all connected. It is. I said to someone just a few minutes ago, when you think about life this way, it's one big experience with a lot of experiences in it, right? And all of those little experiences that we have that other people are having, they're all inside of this one big experience that's causing the big experience to expand more and more. Y'all probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but if you do, isn't it amazing? Wow.
It's very amazing. Yeah, I told you, say the man's name, because I can't make my mouth say it.
Thich Nhat Hanh.
Him. Him. So I've been reading his book, The Art of Living. I was sitting in the parking garage of work, because I always get there hella early and then park in a minute late. And I was just out there and I was looking at the doves, bull doves. A lot of people call them pigeons, but they're actually a form of dove. And I was just admiring how pretty their colors were and how they faded into one another. And then one shit, just, I was just like, and that came from that. It was just like, we put so many labels on stuff. And we so many things in life that, can you imagine what it'd be like if we did shit? Do you know what a blessing it is to shit? Oh my God. Ask someone who can. Okay? Right? And then we take that same concept and we apply it to certain people, certain races, certain ethnicities, certain cultures, certain sexualities, certain religions, certain whatever. Ew. Or girl, no. It doesn't matter what label you put on. You are putting stink on something that came from the same thing you came from. So you're related. And people, I can hear now. I ain't related to him. We talk about the Israelites and the what do you call the white people? What's the Arabian or Aryan, the Aryans, or when one sect, one culture, one race, one whatever takes the time to dig way back in history and see where it all started and give their proof and their data and their platform for which they know that this is that. Okay, I agree with you. Where'd that come from, though? Oh, and then we go to the Bible or creation or dinosaurs. Okay, I believe you. Where did that come from? And everything you tell me, I'm going to ask you. And where did that come from? All related. So when you condemn, you might as well look at the middle. Now, I'm not saying agree with everything, because hell, I don't agree with half of y'all. Y'all know we've had disagreements. Everybody out here, at some point, we ain't got to agree about everything. You like purple? I don't really care that much purple. You like pink? I don't really care. Actually, I like all colors, but this is an example. But we are all related, and there is nothing you can say to even convince yourself that we're not. Because all you have to do is ask yourself, okay, but where did that come from? powerful to know that you came from that. Right? I think it's so amazing how in the Bible, when God has been asked what his name is, no one ever actually could give him one.
Mm-hmm.
We say,
Mm-hmm.
I am that I am. We say God. We say the Christ, the Lord, and what. We just coming up with shit. Right? We just making, we are literally making up shit to try to describe something that is
Indescribable.
indescribable. Woo! Absolutely indescribable. And we came from that.
Yeah.
And we're upset because we ain't got, I don't know. Why don't you just sit in where you are right now? And no matter what the circumstances, it is a miracle that you're here. Because what nobody in there giving you a tutorial about how to grow hands, legs, brains, feet, lungs, kidneys, spleens, and teeth. You did that. Why? Because you innately know you can do anything. Your parents just had to have the idea to believe that sperm and egg could create a human being. Ain't nobody been in there. Oh, Sue, go ahead now.
I'm kind of speechless, not because I don't have words. I'm speechless because when I think of all that is, the isness of all that is, the isness of existence, I totally agree with you that people come up with labels for shit all the time. But the reality is, and they come up with theories and hypotheses and all this, but nobody knows. And the only truth that really exists is. Is. What is all of it. It's all of it. I do believe that the closest name that we can get to really truthfully calling source is the I am, because that is on the level of isness. Or you could just call it the I, or you call it the it am, but it is, period. And for when we start talking about a race or a sect or whatever, it just goes back to is. Or we could call it one. It goes back to one, because everything is imbued with the power of one. I'm mindful of the scenario or the story that I hear about, like the oak tree. Well, the what is it? The acorn. The acorn has in its essence knowledge of the oak tree. It doesn't ask anybody who the oak tree is. It doesn't ask any other trees for assistance or knowledge. The oak, the acorn grows into an oak tree. It grows into an oak tree. Everything is, oh my God, so uniquely, divinely created. I personally do not believe, and this, y'all can take this conversation in your mind any way you want to take it. It's up to you. I personally do not believe that the creator, by whatever name you call him, her, it, made any mistake with regard to any of the creations. When we talk about disability, no, that person is not disabled. They may be otherwise enabled. They may be differently enabled, but they are not disabled. Disabled means that there's something defective there. God didn't create any defects. Everything within the divine mind, everything is perfect. We get into the whole conversation about gender and about sexuality. I don't go in that conversation. Whoever you are, however you are perfect in the eyes of the divine, because that's the way you were created. if you find yourself in a body, I don't even like the word, and y'all can do whatever you want to do with this. I don't even like the word dysmorphia. I think that God created you that way, but he also gave you a mind. He also puts you in touch with your isness. And if you feel like you are in the wrong body, then that is a part of the greatness. That is a part of the trueness of your being, because God gave you the ability to know, oh, well, he put me in this container. This isn't quite the right container that goes with my essence. And I have the ability to change. God gave you that ability. Ain't no wrong there. And for those people who believe otherwise, that's your right. That's your journey. I'm just telling you where I am.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Y'all don't, I mean, mistake is just impossible. We made mistakes. We made, because we put split thoughts to everything. Because once, anything has been divided, and we are way past divided, right? There's woman and man, and there's up and down, and there's in and out, and then, you know what I mean? We're way beyond divided. We are a million split, that type of thing. So when we have a thought, it automatically has to pass. Now, whether we take to pass will determine what we start to manifest. But we're already within this being of, like, that's why, in my opinion, that they say we're born into sin. Sin is an option. We could just as easily say we're born into Savior. We're born into we're born into what? I'm not saying it ain't still we're born into sin, because what sin is just choices. That's all it is. Sin is going in a way. That's really just one thing. It's a choice. It's a decision. It's something. And then also, in order for you to sin, there has to be someone on the other side determining what's good and what's bad.
Yeah.
I don't care how good a religion, I don't care how peaceful of a religion. In order for there to be peace, there's got to be an idea of what peace ain't, right? So a lot of times we get caught up into that duality of life, the good and the bad, and the thoughts and the actions and the manifestations of the defeats or the mistakes and the things like that. We are caught up in that. We are caught up in the brilliance that we have, the power that we have. And because, have you ever been overloaded with too many options?
Say it again.
Have you ever been overloaded with too many options? A lot of times in life we will, if I just have more options, or if I just have more to choose from, whatever. That's not true. Because right now I can choose to just run out that window. You know what I mean? Like, there are all the options in the world for me right now. And I think that overwhelming power sometimes cripples us, because we trick ourselves into thinking about these paths that's going to create once we make a decision. And more than often, we go down the path that has to do with us peeking into how the decision is going to affect somebody else, not us. If I spent most of my time thinking about how a decision would benefit me, I don't have time to be thinking about, oh God, I'm gonna be pissed off. Shit, I gotta make this decision, and then I gotta hear her mouth. But if you're thinking, okay, when I make this decision, that really will eliminate a lot of my stress level. And then also, once I do that, that will amplify my income. And once I start making more income, I can choose to do X, Y, and Z. This person may still be over here acting a donkey. And then I'll also be able to sleep better, because that donkey won't be calling my phone all the time, because I will have moved on with my life. We have got to stop being so much in other people's business in order to see the all that is our lives, because we cannot comprehend the all that's someone else's life. we miss our blessings, not because they're not there, because we're too worried about saying such and such don't even deserve that doggone blessing. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? We know about that. But that is why I mean, because a lot of people, I would say the clap back would be with me saying, I can see just a beautiful miracle of life in a bird or even in a bird poop. Yeah, but you don't have such and such and such and such, such and such. Baby, I got all the such and such. I just don't pay such and such no attention in my life. Yeah. Because I am so in awe of what I've been through, who I am, how I treat people, how amazing that is. You know, like I am so, what is the word that you use, Dr. Sue, you're going on a detective, de-escalate. I am a de-escalator of negativity. Because I stay up here. I ain't gonna say where I was working. It may or may not be where I work now. I'm not gonna say because I don't want to get in trouble. But there was a guy in the store the other day. I already talked about that. And to de-escalate the situation, I had to call his bluff. Because what he wanted was for me to alter everything about my day in order to create a mood in me that I didn't want to have. AKA, he was trying to frustrate the hell out of me. And I wasn't going to let him get my goal. So as I started to walk away for the 5th time, he says, hey, I'm going to need you. And I turned around and I looked at him with the biggest smile and I said, no, you don't. And we both smiled. He's like, well, and I walked away because he did not need me. Because I approached him with such love and such grace and such honesty. You know, I'm like, okay, I'll do this. But at the same time, I just want him to know that I know. And we can do this all day, but I'm not going to get in a bad mood. I'm just not going to do it. You know what I mean? And because at this point, I'm like, okay, we're going to play with it because I'm not going to get in a bad mood. And we have to take that approach to everything in life. Like, where you are cannot be changed. You are here. And a lot of us like to put in coordinates to get somewhere and wonder why we lost because we're putting in the wrong coordinates. Because stop acting like you're here and you ain't there. Now it's giving you directions to take a left and you ain't even went out the street. And the only thing you can do is take a right. And we frustrated because we are stuck in the middle of a jungle because we're taking directions from a place that we are not honest with ourselves that we are. And what we are is taken care of. We are protected. We're one of a kind. My friend, she said at one of the healing songs, she said, you are a once in a lifetime cosmic event.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, yes, I am. I own that. I accept that. Because I am. There will never be, I could literally, like I said before, I could sit here and for the rest of my life tell you about what I've been through in my life, and you still will have no idea. And that's another lesson. Stop wasting your time trying to explain shit to people. Wait a minute. We waste a lot of time doing that right there. What you thinking, Dr. Sue? Before I take on a whole nother subject.
Oh, you said so much. I'm kind of picking up on the last thing that you said, though. Stop spending so much time trying to explain yourself to other people. I was having this conversation with a person not too long ago, and she was a little distraught because of her family dynamics. And I explained to her my perspective that we find ourselves in psychically painful situations because of our expectations and about ourselves and about other people. As it pertains to other people, if we would simply consider, for example, that they are a glass that is half full. Now, we can want that glass to be full all we want to. But if there's only half, it's an 8-ounce glass and you only got 4 ounces in there, even when they are giving you all that they've got, they only got 4 ounces. Now, for you to expect them to give you 8 ounces when they're only capable, they're at capacity at 4. What does that say about you? And why would you want to put yourself in that kind of psychic pain, expecting someone to be something or to give you something that they don't have the capacity to do? People are in your life as mirrors. If we go into this from a metaphysical perspective, they are here to provide a mirror for you to see, who am I being in this moment as I interact with you? Who am I being? Is my attention outwardly focused? Am I looking at you and finding fault with you? If I am, 9 times out of 10, if I turn that finger back around to me, I would find the same fault in me. But it's just easier to see because I'm looking at you. And number one, I don't even want to see it in me because I want to see that I'm good, but you're the problem. It's like my ex-husband told me, bless his soul, he's deceased now. I don't have a problem. My only problem is you. If you would get your act together, my life would be fine. And so how many of us go through the world, we move through this space and we're looking at other people, finding fault with other people, comparing ourselves to other people, all of this otherness stuff, when really the whole task, our task at this point, our assignment, should we say, in this moment is to, how am I, a divine being, how am I showing up? So show up for you.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you can't show up as you for anyone else if you don't show up for you. It's impossible. I always say the best you can give to other people is that you've taken care of. You got to take care of you. Ain't nobody else going to do it. You can have a caretaker, but not even a caretaker can bring you to any type of good place without your willingness to be well or to act, to participate in your wellness. It's you. It really is you. You know, it, just the attention and awareness to yourself can really drastically change your life. There's one of the things that I've been working on. That list is could go on and on. But it's this one body scan that I do. And a lot of people like if they call me or text me something, I'm like, I'm oiling up. I'll say that a lot because I have this ritual of putting on my apricot oil, and every so often I'll add an essential oil for a very specific purpose. And I do body scans with oil every week, and every day of the week is different body parts. I do my whole body, but I spend more time in certain areas each day of the week just to check things out. You know, you're getting of age, especially, you know, you're over 40. You need to know if there's a knot somewhere and don't say, where'd that come from? No, you need to know if things are changing. Check your moles. Are they spreading? Are they getting bigger? You know, and apricot oil is so good for your skin. It's so moisturizing. And just doing just that, I can notice that my thoughts have been better. Because at first, you know, you're on your skin and whatnot, and before you know it, I'm going so fast because my mind has started racing about something. Whoa, slow down. You know, you're supposed to be massaging and stuff, and now I'm like, you know, because with oil, one of the things with oil, you have to go slow. Because if you take oil, you do like this all the way up your arm, it's going to leave just a very fine streak. But if you go really slow, it just starts to go all around and absorb and expand. So it's just like, that's how it is with life. You're going so fast. You're like, gotta get the kids, got to get up, you gotta cook the dinner, gotta take the bath, gotta go do this, gotta run these errands, gotta do this. Sometimes, I don't know who it was I told this to the other day. I said, if you feel like you're going too fast, or if you feel like nothing is getting done, slow down. Slow down. That'll do it. That'll do it. Because when you're more precise about your path, you get there a lot quicker. and with a lot more ease because you're analyzing your decisions. You're engaging with it. You're doing those visualizations. I thought, feeling it, not going too far. Don't get trapped in the past there. But really thinking about what you're doing, is this going to benefit me? Or am I just making a quick, rash decision because I'm panicked about where I am? I am where I am. Nothing can change it. Let me breathe and settle into here so that I can make the best decision from here. Because I want to be there. I can't make a decision from there. I got to make a decision from here. What is the thing that is truly going to benefit me best next for who I am right now? Just slow down. Just whoo, slow down. Like sometimes, something that's really all it takes is you saying, whoo,
I know.
and then regroup.
The breath is so important. It's the life force, but so often I don't want to say we take it for granted, as in we consciously think, oh, I'm just going to take the breath for granted. We do it in our behavior, right? When you cease to exist on this life plane, that's gone. That's gone. But so often, it's like one of the things that I know, I used to catch myself, we stop breathing. We literally stop breathing and we don't know that we've stopped breathing, right? Until we go, it's like, dang, I stopped breathing. So when you slow it down so that you can feel the energy moving through your body, most of us have no clue as to what that feels like. We don't know that energy is supposed to flow through us just like an electrical current because it resonates in that same way. If we want to have an opportunity to feel it, it scares some of us shitless because what is that? What is that? But it is supposed to flow. You should feel it in every cell in your body because they all have their own energy fields. It's like this going on inside, right? But it's moving. It should move down your body, out your hands, out your arms, out your legs, out your feet. You should be able to feel that. Most of us don't. We don't. And if you can't feel it, then you probably also are not conscious of breathing. But when you can begin to breathe, just the breath is pulling energy into your body. When life starts to get really crazy, one of the many ways, but a way to slow it down to ground is simply to focus on your breath. Do what they call box breathing. It's like making a box, 4, 4, 4, 4. 4 inhales, 4 holds, 4 exhales, 4 holds, and you do it. And you only have to do that 2 or 3 times, and your whole energy just calms down. But be mindful that your thoughts are energy, and you can calm down, and your thoughts will instantly take you back up there. So when you do the box breathing, you also have to be mindful of what is the thought that I want to replace the thoughts with, the ones that I'm getting rid of. What do I want to replace it with? Joy, peace of mind, my happy place, my happy space, anything other than the shit that just triggered you. Create something new that's going to be calming. And if you can't come up with a calming thought, just think breath, just breathe. Just breathe. And one of the things psychologically that helps when you exhale, when you inhale and you exhale, when you hear the inhale and you hear the exhale, that in itself also has a calming effect. There's some things you can do that are just simple to slow down, slow yourself down, slow your life down. Run outside, take your shoes off, stand in the rain, get in the shower. It's dead water, but it still brings you conscious to yourself, right? Simple little things. Got to learn to live. When you talk about self-love, this really is self-love manifested. It's healing.
Good stuff. It's good stuff. And then I tell you what, I'm just amazed. I'm amazed that, I look at how many times I've, you know, put it this way. Eventually, you just have to get used to your everyday is being amazed. A lot of times we say, it never ceases to amaze me. Like it literally never ceases to amaze me. Every day. And I'm like, every day, every day. Like in the Bible they say every day will be Sunday. The Sabbath will have no end. That is here. That is right now. That is your life. When you breathe, breathe in. This is a life-giving breath. So stop and see what happens. But when you breathe out, this is a life-giving breath.
I think that
That's just good.
I think that it may be difficult for some people to embrace the concept of every day is Sunday, right? Sunday, as in every day we got
Life
the breeze,
giving.
and the sun is within me. Because juxtapose that perhaps to what they are learning in a religious location. Uh, but what some ministers teach that you got to wait till you get to the pearly gates of heaven, and then every day is going to be like Sunday. And I've never been there, so y'all, I can't speak to whether they're pearly gates. But what I am saying is that God has gifted you right now. God, by whatever name you call him, her, it, I'm always talking about the Creator, has gifted you with the ability to have sun in your day, in your being as you right now. And the key to doing that rests in the power of your mind. If you want to have every day as Sunday, change the narrative. If you want to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what is it? Thursday's child, cry, whatever, whatever. If that's where you want to be, stay in the same place. But you can make a conscious decision that I'm not doing that anymore. And one of the things that I speak from my lived experience, because I can tell you that there were times in my life where I was depressed for months on end. I'd be depressed for 3 months, for 6 months. I've taken Zoloft. They've told me that you would be on Zoloft forever. And I would have been, but for the fact that I decided I ain't doing this shit no more and I ain't taking these drugs. If I can be and understand, here is a warning, a caveat, or whatever. I'm not saying that there are not people who need assistance. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying for those of you who do not, or those of us who do not need medical assistance, that the assistance is simply a matter of changing the way you think. If you want to have Sunday as every day, it begins with the thought. Today is Sunday. And you say, well, how can I maintain that thought all day? If you think of it as maintaining it as one huge thing all day, when you're just getting started, you probably can't, because those negative thoughts are going to come up. And you can't stop yourself from thinking, but you can replace the thought. So when the negative thought comes up, no, it's not. This is Thursday's child, and you crying, and you go, no, I'm not doing that. Thursday, child, you need to go to somebody else's house because you're not welcome here. Okay. So today, in this moment, it's Sunday. And in the next moment, it's Sunday. And what happens is, from a neurological standpoint, you are creating new neural circuits in your brain. If you stop giving energy to the old thought, if you stop giving energy to Thursday's child and ruminating about it, then what you will find is that you have created a whole new bunch of neural circuits that relates to the habit of being Sunday's child. And then you stay in that space. Then you don't have to work. It's not that the thought won't come, but you go, even give it any thought, because now it no longer has energy. There's a science behind everything that we're talking about, even when we don't necessarily say that there is, but there is. There's spiritual truth behind everything that we're talking about. There's metaphysical truth behind everything that we're talking about. We don't just have conversations just to be having them. We have fun, we share, but there's always a solid foundation underlying the conversation.
Yes, indeed. I love it. I love all of it. I love you, Dr. Susu. I love Michelle Harding. I love Michelle Burnett. I love Monique. Who else is in here? I love it. I love it all. It is so necessary to have these conversations because we need to say these things in every single dialect. I need to say it the way I say it. Dr. Sue needs to say it the way she needs to say it. Michelle Horn needs to say it the way she said it. Michelle Burnett needs to say it the way she says it. Monique, you need to say it the way you say it. And the more we have these types of conversations, the more people will be able to put it into their own words and not worry about how to fit into what's already been said, but start explaining it, quote unquote, working out our own salvations so that it makes sense to us, to our cosmic mate. So let's start narrating back to ourselves and explaining that to ourselves. And then we go deeper and deeper into ourselves, where we're supposed to be. We're all going back to the same place. So why not really, you know how they say, make your dad dance? Maybe I want my thing to step. You hear me? I want that. I want my hashtag. I want my dad's moonwalking, okay? I want it all, honey. I want that joker to be spinning on his head. Because people will say, yeah, Carrie was a vibe. Carrie was fucking fine. Like, ain't nobody done it like Carrie. I mean, you know, she been through some things, and she says some things and does some things. Let me tell you what she wasn't. She wasn't nothing other than Carrie. I've been, you know how they say 10 toes down? I think I've been pretty 10 toes down with myself for a long time. And the most important thing that I think I've learned about being authentic is that authentic also is fluid. Because even though I was authentic 4 years ago, I am not that same person. So sometimes that may look unauthentic to some, which is why we can't be in other people's business. Because one of the things that's other people's business is their opinions of you and how you need to do what you need to do for you. And only you can know that as long as you stay in your business. Stay in your business. So that every move you make, you know you've had the conversation with yourself. And y'all have put the votes in, and the vote is you're going to do what's best for you next. No matter how, it don't even matter who it affects. That's irrelevant. How is it going to affect you? The best next step, if it is, go for it. If it ain't, if it's attached to anyone for any reason, you might want to think about it. Ask yourself one more time. Because, I mean, sometimes our best decision is best for someone else, but it has to be better for them by default. You know, better for them by default. Put you first. Put you first. And I want you to come back to this. When you put yourself first in a situation, you typically put yourself first and put it in these comments and say, I put myself first today. And I am here to thank myself for putting myself first today. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. What's your final word, Susu? We're going to slide on out of here.
I totally agree with put yourself first. And, you know, the first book that I wrote was called Return to Self. It's all about unmasking, demasking, unlayering, walking out of the conditioning, the mental conditioning that we have internalized in terms of thinking who we are. You're not who they say you are. You get to choose who you be. And you always have choice to choose in alignment with who you believe the creator intended you to be, as opposed to who I think you should be, who Carrie thinks you should be, who your mama, your daddy, all of that. Because really, ultimately, it's all about you and the divine. And so that's one thought. My other thought is that I I gained so much freedom. I am still evolving, and so there's still room for growth. But I gained so much freedom when I truly internalized that we are each on our own spiritual journey and that your journey is not mine. And while our paths may intersect and overlap, still your journey is yours and mine is mine. And I learned not to judge. Nothing is good or bad. Those are very subjective labels, right or wrong, very subjective labels. I really try to stay in the lane of all of this is divinely ordained, even if I don't understand why and I don't see the pattern. I know that I can't create it. And I know that there, in my mind, regardless, and some people will disagree with this, I'm okay with it, regardless of how quote unquote horrible, another label, how horrible the thing may be, um, that person who is experiencing it on both sides, the people are here to have those experiences and learn whatever it is they're here to learn from that. That takes us to a metaphysical realm. If we look at it just from the human eye, it may make no sense. But if you understand that life is from the beginning, the inception, and life will always be, and that we're simply having experiences within the big experience. We are aspects of consciousness that is experiencing itself, and we are having those experiences. Therefore, they are neither right nor wrong, good nor bad, just an experience, having an experience. Step outside of that, and then you can divorce yourself from the energy, from the emotion of it all, and you really handle life a lot better, a lot easier. That has given me great peace of mind. I don't worry about other people because I know that you are at capacity, as am I. And I keep growing and keep going, and I encourage you to do the same.
Absolutely. This has been another great episode of Late Night Happy Hour with Carrie Irene and DrSue. Announcements, though. We got announcements. August 2nd, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you can be there, please be there. Please be there. If you need help making arrangements and whatnot, knowing what areas you want to stay in if you come from out of town, hit me up in my inbox. I'll help you find a good place to stay. Airbnb is always good. You know, you can find some really good deals on Airbnb, especially if you get with a friend and come. All right, August 2nd from 4 p.m. Pre-registration starts at 3:30. It's gonna go to 8:30, and then we're hitting the beach. It's gonna be a Fresh Brewed Coffee House. And if you don't know about Fresh Brewed Coffee House, it's a non-profit coffee house. They feed the homeless. They open up the shelters during cold blues in the wintertime. Kate Kern, she's been running it for, I don't even know, umpteen years. And she's an awesome, amazing lady, very community driven. And it is for a very good cause. We have vendors there. All the vendors are pledged to give 10% to the coffee house, a nonprofit mission. And yeah, it's just going to be an amazing time. We're going to have a guest speaker, Ashley Morgan, who was the keynote speaker last year as well, coming back in from Houston, Texas. And then we're also having a breathwork experience by Ebeth. She is going all the way from Canada. So this is going to be a treat. We are going, this is going to be a treat. It's going to be a good time. You know yours truly. I'm going to be floating through there looking fly and everything. You know what I'm saying? So which brings me to my next point. I'm going to post my private group. It's for women only. Sacred Queen Society in the comments. We are doing the fitness challenge for June. So we got Habit Hero Bingo going on. We started last month. It went really, really well. The winners was Ebeth, one of the guest speakers, and then Leticia. Leticia was the one that filled her card first. And then Ebeth filled her card, but she also did the most amount of posts in the group. So they both got prizes. I'll be mailing those prizes out. But come and get involved. Join the group. Get your bingo card. You just go save it or take a screenshot of it. And then just mark off the things you do. We got things like meditation on there, 30-minute workout, 5 glasses of water, 7+ hours of sleep. They're all good things that you're marking off on the bingo card to create good habits. So it's called Habit Hero Bingo. So join the group. Come play with us. It's going to be a good time. DrSue, tell me about what you got going on, girl.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of writing. I am putting the finishing touches on my book, from mastering your mind to mastering your life, which again focuses on the intersectionality of spirituality, metaphysics, and neuroscience with regard to changing habits and really becoming the woman. It's written primarily to women, but becoming the woman that you are here to be and can be. And I also, I have another podcast that I am putting on the side burner. I was going to get started on it, but I shifted gears, and I'm looking for a name for it, but it really is more. I'll let you all decide what it's more of, but it's going to be coming within the next week. And I basically will be coming on just to do some poetic readings that are readings from the soul, things that I've written that really reflect on my journey as a woman, and perhaps it may also resonate with you. So I'm excited about that, and I'll be talking more about it and doing it too.
Nice. I know, right? That sounds amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I can't wait to hear it because I love poetry. I love
I'm
poetry.
excited.
I miss it. Yeah, that's one of the things that Fresh Brew. That's how I started going to Fresh Brew Coffee House. They had open mic nights there, and you can read poetry, you can sing a song. A lot of people bring their instruments and stuff. It's absolutely amazing to hear. It's one thing to read someone's writing, but when you can hear them say it the way they felt it when they wrote it, it's just so much. It's just so deep. I love it so much. All right, so we're gonna get on out of here, y'all. We love you so much, and thank you for being with us. And we hope to see you again in a couple of weeks for another episode of the Late Night Happy Hour with Carrie Irene and DrSue, where what comes up
comes out. Ain't nothing to it, y'all, but to do it, go head on. As I was thinking about what we are doing, it really is an opportunity for people to connect with their beingness. We are not conscious of the compartmentalization. We just say, this is who I am, right? Who you are is different depending on the environment that you find yourself in or the people that you find yourself connected with. So I hold myself out as an example. At 71 years old, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey to self-acceptance. And I think it may be that way for many of us, that we look at the pieces of ourselves and decide, I can show that. No, I can't show that. Is there a danger? How deep is the danger if I show you all of me? Oh, I can show these people this part of me, and these people this part of me, and these people this part of me. And then the question is, how long before you get tired of just compartmentalizing your beingness?